his life cut short, but his legacy lives on, and he has an entire army of voices and minds to carry on his legacy. And I'm sure one of those is Congressman Brandon Gill. He joins us now. Congressman, you were Charlie Kirk's age. He was 31, as are you. And I will not put words in your mouth, just your reaction at what you've witnessed today.
It's absolutely horrific and infuriating at the same time. Charlie and I are the same age. We both have children who are roughly the same age. I can't imagine what his wife and children are going through right now. These are two young children who are going to grow up without a father now because some left-wing lunatic decided to attack and assassinate a conservative at a college campus, of all places, who was just trying to bring forward an argument to debate people on the merits. And yet this is what they did to him. It is infuriating here, and we need justice.
Congressman, he obviously was so courageous in the work that he did. He was outspoken. He was never afraid. That, I think, will be part of his legacy, aside from what the president said in calling him a patriot. What the assassin did was cowardly, to silence him.
It was cowardly, it was weak. But this is what we're up against. You know, Charlie was a hero. He was an American patriot. He knew what he was getting into. He knew that by going into the lion's den on left-wing college campuses, out in the open air, with thousands of people in many cases watching him debate people who were going nuts over every word he was saying, he knew he was putting himself in a dangerous situation, but he did it anyways because he wanted to promote the movement, to get the message out, and to win the debate. You know, Charlie did so many things right. He not only won debates and won arguments on their merits, but he also built a political movement for young people, getting young people engaged in the political process, especially college students. Students who otherwise might have been afraid because of leftists like this lunatic who shot Charlie. So he's a hero. He's somebody we will never forget. And we're going to continue to carry on the movement that he started for young people.
I don't think any of us can imagine where we would be, even as a country, without Charlie Kirk, because he did not demand acceptance of his ideas, of conservative ideas, of the idea of faith and family and country and freedom. He merely empowered a generation or even generations of young people to challenge the left-wing orthodoxy and the cultism and the indoctrination that was shoved down their throats on college campuses. An idea of college that he rejected at the age of 18 to start Turning Point USA. And it changed the course of this country. Congressman, I think we wouldn't be here today being able to speak as openly everywhere, whether it's on college campuses or not. We've still got a long way to go, but he brought us to where we are in 2025.
He did. He recognized that free speech is at the center of having a functioning democratic republic in the United States. That's why he went to those college campuses, because that is where free speech was being stifled the most. That is where the hostility against Republicans and conservatives and Christians and Jews was the most egregious. That's why he went there. You know, he built this movement. Honestly, I'm not sure I would be elected to Congress if it weren't for the movement that Charlie started and that we owe so much to. But that's why he went there, because he recognized that you can't have a country. And listen, you cannot have a democratic republic whenever leftists want to use political violence like they did against Charlie and assassinating him as a means of stifling dissent and stopping people from disagreeing with them. It is wrong, it's evil when it happens on either side, but listen, this is a problem that is coming the most from the political left. They tried to assassinate President Trump. They assassinated, or a left-wing lunatic assassinated a healthcare CEO. Recently, two workers at the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. were assassinated, and they just killed Charlie Kirk. This is a problem, and it needs to end. We need to see swift justice for the person who murdered Charlie Kirk, a swift death penalty.
These shots we're looking, we were just looking at video of Charlie sitting on the one of the sets here at Fox News, and it's just, it is heartbreaking. Congressman Brandon Gill, thank you for being here on this tragic day, but you keep moving forward and living Charlie's legacy for all of us. Thank you, Congressman.
Thanks for having me.